Today, we're diving into a trend that's all over social media. It's called Fibermaxxing, and it promises to completely overhaul your health. But what's the real story behind it? Is it a legit health hack or just hype? Let's get into it.
Let's just start with this question. Could a TikTok trend actually solve one of the biggest health problems in the country? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But when you look at the numbers, you start to see that this is way more than just a passing hashtag.
So what exactly is fibermaxxing? Well, it's basically the internet's cool new way of saying something super simple. Eat more plants. The whole idea is to consciously, crank up your fiber intake. Some people are aiming for 50 grams a day or even more. And trust me, that is a ton of fiber.
And here's why that number is so shocking. It's estimated that a whopping 95% of Americans don't get the recommended amount of fiber every day. 95%. That is a massive gap in our nutrition, and it's exactly what a trend like fibermaxxing is trying to fix.
Okay, so why does this even matter? To really get it, we need to look past the trend and talk about the science. Because fiber is so much more than just that old-fashioned roughage your grandma used to talk about. It's actually mission control for a lot of what goes on inside your body, especially your gut.
First thing to know, not all fiber is created equal. There are two main players. On one side, you've got soluble fiber. This stuff dissolves in water and forms this gel-like substance. And that's awesome, because it slows things down, helps keep your blood sugar stable, and can even lower your bad LDL cholesterol. Then you've got insoluble fiber. Its job is totally different. It doesn't dissolve, it just adds bulk and, well, keeps things moving along smoothly.
Here's probably the easiest way to think about this whole thing. Fiber isn't really for you. It's food for the trillions of little microbes living in your gut. You're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding an entire ecosystem that is absolutely critical for your health.
So how does that work? Well, fiber is what we call a prebiotic. It's basically a feast for all the good guys in your gut, bacteria like bifidobacterium and lactobacillus. They take that fiber and ferment it, and when they do that, they create some incredibly powerful stuff as a byproduct.
And that brings us to the real MVPs of this story. Short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs for short. This is where the magic happens. You eat the fiber, your gut bacteria eat the fiber, and then they produce these amazing compounds that do all sorts of things, like help control your appetite, make you more sensitive to insulin, and fight inflammation. It's one of the main reasons high-fiber diets are so good for you.
All right, enough of the deep science. Let's talk about the practical stuff. How do you actually get more fiber in your life? The best part about this whole thing is that it's not about what you can't eat, it's all about what you can add to your plate. Let's build a shopping list.
When it comes to fiber, legumes are the undisputed heavyweight champions. Seriously, look at these numbers. A single cup of boiled split peas has 16 grams of fiber. For a lot of women, that's more than half of what you need for the whole day, in one go. Lentils and black beans aren't far behind, and even a little ounce of chia seeds gives you a huge 10-gram boost.
Yep, 16 grams in 1 cup of split peas. Just think about how easy it is to throw that into a soup. It really puts the power of adding just one simple food into perspective. It's a total game changer. Grains are another really easy win. Just making a simple swap, like from regular pasta to whole wheat spaghetti, makes a big difference. And things like barley, bran flakes, and quinoa are all fantastic, easy additions to your meals. And of course, we've got to talk about fruits and vegetables. You might be surprised by some of these. Raspberries and green peas are absolute powerhouses. You know that old advice to eat the rainbow? Well, it's spot on, especially for getting a good variety of different types of fiber.
Okay, but hold on. Before you run out and buy 10 cans of beans, we need to have a serious talk. Because this is where the maxing part of fibermaxxing can get you into trouble. Good intentions can go very wrong if you do too much, too fast.
This quote here from an expert, Dr. Rekha Chaudhary, explains it perfectly. Remember that fermentation process we talked about? Well, if you suddenly dump a ton of fiber on your gut bacteria, it's like throwing a massive, unexpected party for them. They go nuts, and the byproduct of all that partying is gas, a lot of it, which leads right to bloating and cramping. So your body is going to send you some pretty clear signals that you're overdoing it. The obvious ones are bloating and gas. But ironically, you can also get constipated. I know, it sounds backward, right? But it happens if you're not drinking enough water to help that fiber do its job. Basically, if you feel like this, your body is screaming at you to slow down.
Look, this doesn't mean you should just give up on fiber. Not at all. It just means you have to be strategic about it. So let's talk about how to find your personal fiber balance and do this the smart, safe way.
Pretty much all experts agree on 3 golden rules. Number 1, start slow. Seriously, no heroics needed. Don't go from 15 grams to 50 overnight. Give your gut a few weeks to get used to the new normal. Number 2, water, water, and more water. Fiber is like a sponge. It needs that liquid to move through your system. And number 3, probably the most important one, listen to your gut. Everybody's different. Pay attention to how you feel and adjust.
Okay, one last thing. I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now. This sounds like a lot of work. Can I just take a supplement for this? It's a good question, so let's look at the difference. The overwhelming answer from pretty much every expert out there is that real whole food is always the gold standard. When you eat a bowl of lentils, you're not just getting fiber. You're getting this whole package deal of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all this stuff that works together. A supplement just can't copy that.
Now, that's not to say supplements are useless. They can definitely have a role in certain situations. Take this analysis, for example. It looked at 2 common fiber supplements for people with type 2 diabetes and found that Psyllium was quite a bit more effective at lowering that bad LDL cholesterol.
But, and this is a really big but, there's a trade-off. Psyllium might be more powerful, but it also comes with a much higher chance of causing gas and bloating. On the other hand, methylcellulose is less potent for cholesterol, but it's generally a lot easier on the gut. It's a perfect example of how there's just no one-size-fits-all answer.
And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. Maybe the goal shouldn't be to max out on fiber just because a trend tells you to. Maybe the real question we should all be asking ourselves is this: what's the right amount of fiber for my body? Finding that personal sweet spot, not hitting some extreme number, is the real secret to better health.